Hey guys, we are going into the Dark Visions 29 final boss for my fire team clear. So my highest roll took about like 1200 damage, or 1200 points off for damage received, but the cap was 23.6. Which, I mean, if you're using this team, could go higher if you have like an EX3 rain. That cap was, well, Genesis hit the damage cap, so if you have like higher EX levels on Reagan and Rain, your damage could go higher. We are face tanking quite a bit of the damage here, and there is a bit of RNG on turn 4 with which elemental attack it does. One of the attacks, Rain and Genesis take a little damage, and Reagan absorbs it. The other attack, Genesis and Reagan take a lot of damage, and Rain absorbs it. So. But anyway, Clam's pretty helpful here. She has a skill that gives a 50% defense, spirit, and general mitigation. Her Barfaraja, so helps deal with the boss's dispels. But the boss does, again, fixed mixed element magic attacks that can only be omni covered if you're gonna use a slot for that, or you can just try to resist it, which we're kind of doing. So. But yeah, the attacks are, it's either fire, lightning, wind, or light, or it's going to be ice, water, earth, or dark. So, but anyway, Sylvie in the base form, passive provoke, evade. She has Dragon's Brush and a lot of elemental resistances. She has Ibarra's card, and then Shift Form. I tried to build her for damage. She has Dwayne's Sword for the Ian chaining. And yeah, some resistances still. And she does have a multi-element weapon just to build the chain faster. So she is at 150 insect. And yeah, so there's that. And she's starting in the shift form and then going to the base form on turn 1. Clam, base form, the Dark Vision Sword, her own STMR. And she's at max insect, max LB. So I can't really say, and she's only shifting on the kill turn, so her base form resistances don't matter. Shift form, at least 150 to everything just to resist. We're getting a 50% imperil. Well, I say 150 to everything. She's like average of 150. We're getting 100%. Resist buff from Sylvie for the first few turns until we get dispelled. Then we're getting some fire, ice, and dark resist from Cleo for the last 2 turns. Well, really turn 4 is the only turn we're seeing damage on, but it's yeah, it's hard to say exactly like what your resistances need to be, given that we're getting varying levels of resistance and it's mixed attacks. You do want at least 150 wind on everyone if you can, just because there's an Aroga cast that we're not deciding. But anyway, she is full evasion in the shift form, some LB fill rate. LB fill a little bit, so there's that. And then the cool smile card. But yeah, with she does slightly more damage with the Dark Vision Sword just because we have a bigger weapon in peril. Lena in the base form, 11,000 magic. She's nearly max on LB, Esper, and Evo damage with this build. She has this card from Malphase's banner. Then shift form, she has Yuna's necklace upgraded. I wanted to go with you, full evasion, or nearly full evasion, and then just a lot of resistances. Genesis, not nearly enough resistances, but here's his build. So 7600 MP, 12.9 magic. So there's that. And he is max insect. And I forget if I showed it. I mean, Cleum's max LB, max insect as well. Reagan, base form, max insect, max LB. Some resistances. So there's his build. And he's got this card for the fire amp. Then shift form, just more resistances, evasion. Titus's garb, he's starting in the shift form. So there we go. Then Rain, starting in the base form, he has Sword of Kings and 10,000 Needles, full evasion, and resistances. Then shift form, max LB against insects. So there's that, and then Rick's card. So we'll get into it. So again, important things are that Cleum's in shift, Lena's in shift, Reagan's in shift, and Sylvie's starting in the shift form. Okay, so first thing, Sylvie's going to downshift and do her base form LB. That's a 350 all stat buff that can't be dispelled, plus 100% all element resist. The resistances can be dispelled, unfortunately. So Lena is going to sing in the shift form. Cleum is going to put up, nope, didn't mean to do that. She is going to put up Barfaraja twice, just for some LB fill on Sylvie, and then Enfaraga for an imbue on Reagan. Rain is going to 10,000 Needles. Reagan is going to break, and then just LB fill. And Genesis can guard. Alright, so this turn Sylvie is going to Paladin's Defense, Compassionate Knight for the stop resist and to cure the breaks we just got, and then Burgeoning Defense. Cleum is going to just refresh Barfaraja, and then she will Slayer Symphony for, that gives her a 400% magic buff on, I think, turn 4 is when it kicks in. And it's like a 4-turn duration. And then Blood Red Performance, that gives the party-wide 45% fire amp. That's more for Lena and Sylvie, but that's a rolling thing too. It auto casts on turn 4 and lasts a few turns. So it kicks in after we get dispelled. Genesis can guard again. Reagan, this turn, is going to do his Grandis for the break, 89% defense spirit, and then 150 fire. Sonic Octave Strike Blade for a dot. It's a 4-turn duration, so it'll be a little extra damage on the burst turn. And then we'll just refresh Mountain Dive. And Rain can Nethicite from Sword of Kings. Okay, so Reagan this turn is going to do Crimson Steel from the card for the rolling fire amp. Rain can shift and do his shifted LB. Sylvie is going to shift and do his shifted LB for the undispellable LB modifier. Cleum can shifted LB. Yeah, meant to guard Genesis there, actually, not attack with him. Let's see. So he'll take a little more damage. He'll be fine though. Yeah. But yeah, guard Genesis, don't just normal punch again. Alright, so this turn we do all our setup. So Reagan's going to shift to the base form. He'll just do his Dark Amp and then kind of whatever. Use his cooldowns. Genesis can Fire Amp, do a dot, and then end with Loveless. We're going to wait on Genesis until we get Insect Killer from Sylvie for him though. So beat an Insect on Genesis from Sylvie. Which, if you have an EX3 Genesis, I've heard that he can cap without the 250 buff. So I'd say it's RNG from just its variants. But if you have an EX3 Genesis, that's an option. Just put the Beaten Insect on Rain. He's the second highest damage dealer on this team. So yeah, but mine's only EX2, so he needs that little extra oomph. So, yeah, Beaten Insect on Genesis. Paladin's offense, more for the accuracy down than anything. We still have our base form LB 350 buff. So there's that. And then I've got your back over to Rain. Lena is going to Hymn of the Faith. Cleum is going to Bar Faraja, which again, that has a 50% all type mitigation, so that helps. So Bar Faraja, Prodigious Protection for some Dark and Ice resist, and then Scarlet Sharp Note for the amp. Rain is going to Fire Amp, I guess True Undermine, and I guess Inferaga on everyone. So now we can send Genesis. Okay. So that was the elemental magic attack we wanted. Whichever one Reagan absorbs, then Rain and Genesis take a little damage. If it was the other one, Rain would have absorbed, and then Genesis and Reagan would have taken a bit more damage. But anyway, it's time to kill. So, going to downshift Cleum, and base form LB her. Sylvie's going to EN. Lena's going to base form LB. You know, base form LB Reagan, shifted LB Rain, and Genesis will cap. So I tried this video a minute ago and the chain broke. It's a little wonky sometimes. I would say start with Lena to apply the fields, wait just like half a second, then send Cleum and Sylvie, wait about 2 seconds plus a beat. You can almost wait until the chain starts and then send Rain and Reagan, and then a second later send Genesis. I found that if you send Genesis too close to Rain and Reagan, the chain breaks, so it doesn't want to be too soon. But anyway, we'll give it a go. Okay. Let's see what we did. So 21-9, not the greatest, but I'll try to slice in some screenshots of, if there's enough memory on my phone, slice in the screenshots from my max roll. But I'm guessing Rain came up a little short. For my Rain, his cap, I would have seen a 3.2 billion there at the end. I only saw like 2.9, so he was a little short. And Cleum was about 1.3 billion off from what she can do. Lena was a little high there, but so yeah, like I said, that dot with Genesis kind of, you know, skews his number past the cap. I mean, he's doing damage on the previous turn anyway, but that was decent for Reagan, for my Reagan anyway. But there it is, at least. Now it's time to go play with a win team. So, yeah. Anyway, so I do want to give credit where it's due to Sir Jinx. He kind of steered me towards this clear. He was actually able to, I think he hit like 24.5 with a variation of this team. He has an EX3 Rain, so he did a bit more damage. He was using Dwayne instead of Cleom though. But yeah, anyway, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.